Let's share this stream here and get started, shall we? It has definitely been a while. Hey, Great Game R, welcome to the stream. So it has definitely been a while since we played Astroneer, and what's going on in this particular episode is the game, whenever the game updates, I get this bug where I can no longer access my previous save files. Let's load her up. So my previous save files are gone. They're corrupt. They sit there and they don't work. And as you know, if you were watching my previous streams in regards to the save files, I was almost done unlocking every single planet. Which is a little... It's a little upsetting, but we're starting from scratch, and we're going to make it an educational commentary version of Astroneer with some chill strap in the background. So I just launched. You always launch on the beginning planet, which is the terrain planet, or Sylvia is what it's called, and you always get an initial landing pad and an initial shelter. That shelter has a minor amount of oxygen that it is able to actually possess. However, if you put a oxygenator in it, then it should sit right there. Then you can actually create tethers and allow them for... You can create tethers and allow tethers to be oxygenated, essentially. It also starts off with a medium printer. Yeah, it is bad, but I mean, you live and learn. It's a means of me being able to basically start from scratch and make it an educational purpose at the same time. But how are you doing, Great Gamer? Or Great Gamer, I think is what you're trying to go for there. As you notice here, part of the shelter actually contains a minimal RTG. RTG, oh gosh, everything is undiscovered. An RTG is a form of energy that's great for the last planet because it constantly produces energy. So what we're going to be doing here is basically starting from scratch. We're going to prioritize research in order to unlock many things so that we can basically work on building a base on this startup planet. The startup planet has a little bit of everything, but it does lack certain resources such as iron, lithium, things like that. It will have zinc. Will I go after the end of the universe? Maybe. I spent I don't know how many hours trying to get that goal, and felt like I did a lot. But at the beginning, some of the most important things you want to do at the beginning is collect the primary two resources, which are this compound here that I'm collecting, this sort of this gray round-like material, and the resin, which is the yellow material. So I've collected a handful of compound. I'm going to run back over here, get some oxygen, and we're going to start by making a tether bundle. Tethers, once connected to your shelter or source of oxygenator, are a fantastic thing for allowing you to explore. And you just place it by pressing T. I like to place it the moment I extend the length of my tether. I like to place it there. That way I'm not wasting a tether by placing it too close. You want to get as far as possible. So here's resin. Resin is very good initially for making platforms. I also need to make a canister. Canisters are also a fantastic thing. There's so many things involved in this game. It's very in-depth, it's very fun, and you can spend a lot of time working on it. Having a canister allows you to actually collect some of the soil that you are digging up. So we're going to get a couple of resin here, get a couple of platforms started up, and a couple of compound. And we're just starting at the beginning again. I'll show you what like a basic base looks like versus a base that is more middle game versus end game. I do like using this planet as my home base, so to speak. And then the other planets have their unique resources, sure, but they're unique in what sort of sources of power and resources they have, so they don't have everything. But let's fill up here. It looks like I can actually see down there. We got a couple of things we need to prioritize. Research is definitely up there. I think I can stack one more compound. That's resin. I just need a compound. There we go. Let's stack the last compound. Oh no, don't apologize for that. I appreciate you coming by. I was going to do a lot of yard work today, and I was going to get a big workout in, run outside, and then it started pouring. Absolutely pouring. It was not in the forecast whatsoever, but it decided it was going to start pouring. So what we're going to do is create... I appreciate you coming by and saying hi. Share the stream with your friends, and that way we can say hi too, and we can have a good old time. So I'm going to make a small printer. I'm going to rotate it in such a way so that they're all pointing in the same direction. Currently the shelter is providing a small amount of energy. We are going to create none of you. Actually, I want this guy here. I'm going to prioritize research. So I'm going to make a platform. I'm going to run over here, collect more as we go. Plenty of organic to work with. Thank you very much for swinging by. Hope you have a good time, and hopefully I'll be streaming for a little bit. Basically, I'm just keeping an eye on the weather, and I needed something to do because I was a little frazzled up about my things going corrupt. I need something to do. Ah, clay. Very good resource to have nearby. Is that a working weather? Yes, it is. Let's dig you out. So debris is a fantastic thing to have on hand. Debris can be used when you are able to build a shredder. It's great because you can get scrap out of it, and scrap is what you use to trade for things. So if I'm on a certain planet and I don't have the means of collecting a resource because it's not indigenous to that planet, it just does not spawn in the planet, I can create a trade platform. And with certain amounts of scrap, I can trade for things that are not on that planet rather than hopping back and forth over and over again. What do you got for me, game? I believe that would have been the platform to hold the research. Very good. Oh, need to be just a little bit closer, don't you? And once things are starting to move along, I will definitely... Tether bundle, I will definitely start to expand and make the, basically make the base look nicer. Let's speed that along. Generators are perfectly alright initially, but I don't like using them long term. Let's also put you there so you can start generating some power for us. Looks like they updated. They did make some updates since I last played as well, so I'm going to explore some of those new updates as well once we get to that point. It looks like the generator uses less organic over time. Could be wrong. It could also be the fact that I don't have that much that's being powered currently, but we're going to explore and find out. That's the name of the game. Exploration and figuring things out. In the meantime, I'm going to grab some of this clay. I'm going to make some storage here soon. But 1 or 2, that's 2 clay. That's a good start. Don't want to overload on it just yet. We'll create a medium storage unit over here as well. I need another resin for that. You are not contributing to anything right now, so let's turn the generator off. Don't waste the resource. There we go. So it looks like there was some compound here I was digging. Ah, a cave. Excellent. Good. So that'll be my initial cave that I get to go explore. You do find quite a bit of interesting materials underneath caves, and depending on what planet you are, it ranges. That's how you actually get to the center, is you just start digging. So let's get one more resin so I can build the next piece of the base. Any more? No, that's about it. These little samples are also good, quick ways to get some bites, some research, without having to do too much. You can catch them as you're walking by. Make a medium storage unit while we're at it. That way I can place some of the things in storage and I'm not doing too much. And at the same time, I'm going to create another tether bundle and we're going to go down that cave and see if we can find something to research. In the meantime, I have been scoping out the horizon to look for an alien gateway as well. There might be one back there. An alien gateway as well as mountains and hills, because they are a good place for malachite, which turns into copper. So the storage will be over here. There we go. Got a little bit of basic storage to work with. Small generator, beacon, work light, small printer, don't need that. I'll just make another set of tether bundles so we can go and explore and not have to get stuck. Hold on. If I do that. Aha! Nice thing about tether bundles is they kind of just they can be placed more or less anywhere. Careful now. Now that I have a canister, I can make this complete and get rid of the risk of me falling somewhere I shouldn't. There we go. Is that a working generator? No, that can't be. That'd be a great find initially, but I don't think that is the case. Let's extend you out so I'm getting the worth of my tether bundle there and get some research. Very good. Alright. Ah, quartz. Also a good starting item. Quartz is used to make glass. That way you can create a lot more things. Now this is a fun part of it, is that if you're able to generate enough energy, looks like there's a continuation down there. If you're able to generate enough energy, you can unlock those boxes, and they tend to have high amounts of research related items within them. But first things first, we're going to do is we're going to take this with us. I'm also going to dig this up. Come here, research. If I take you over here, I can grab some quartz, so I'm full stocked up. Running back and forth is never... running back and forth is time consuming, so one thing that is important to do is to make sure that you are full up on materials, that you're not wasting time. So full up on material. Ah, yes, so that's zinc. Sulfurite, I believe, is what it's called when it's in that form, but it is zinc. So I'm going to pop a tether right over there. We're going to walk on over the zinc. We're going to get rid of the explodey plant. Thank you. And avoid its toxic gas until it dissipates. Good. Now these cannot really be made into zinc until I get a furnace, which is going to be next on my list after the research. I don't believe I have the ability to create a furnace just yet because I need to have researched it. But there are a number of things that are good early game, and there are a number of things that are good middle and late game for your base. Research is definitely a big thing early game to take advantage of. It's like doing chores. You want to have something in the research module at all times. You want to have some form of generation of research going on at all times. I believe that's enough sulfurite. What's my backpack looking like? 3, 4, 5 spaces left. So let's collect something else down here while we're about. That quartz will do just fine. Quartz by itself is actually also a good resource for creating beacons. Beacons are very good at keeping your wits about you and your location about you. Very good. And that is a good, yummy little research. You too. Thank you. Let's take this guy up with us. One of the updates from a little while ago allowed us to now carry. Beforehand, what I would do is I would actually... You notice the walking speed is different, the running speed is different when you are kind of editing and dragging. However, you can do a fast walk with research by carrying it now. Carrying it is something that is a relatively new, before the official game was released, a relatively new update, which I greatly appreciate. So let's put you in here. Start it up. It's going to give me 565 bytes once it's done. It's rather slow because I don't have that much source of an energy yet. But wind turbine, are you doing anything? It is windy out. I believe you should be doing something to help me out. Put you there, see if that does anything. Sometimes it's about position. Oops. There we go. So that's spinning slowly. That's spinning slowly. Went up to 25. That's good. So let's see if I can build myself a furnace. I believe furnace is going to be in this. Yeah, smelting furnace, 250 bits. Excellent. So what we will need to do now is place some of this resource down here. Plenty of quartz. Use an organic, tack it onto the generator there so we can keep things running. And then, if we collect more resin, we can make another platform in order to create a smelting furnace. So I'm just going to need a ton of resin in order to do that. And I do know that I was coming about on a good source of resin underneath, which not only allows us to explore more, but also allows us to collect more. I can bring another research up with me on my way back. It's once you get used to the idea of making sure you're stocked full before returning, you'll be a lot better off. Rain is slowing down, so we'll see how long the stream goes for, but If it's wet outside, I can't really do all that much yard work, unfortunately. Let's see. So if I remember going correctly, over here we had a source of resin. We also had plenty of debris and quartz. It may take me a little while until I get a shredder because that requires iron, and iron is something you cannot obtain on this planet. I like to dig out the toxic plants so they don't become a problem for me. Make a nice little bridge over. There we go. And shoot, that's a little close. Too close and the toxic fumes will kill you. Here we go, the mother load of resin. I feel like I may have made a loop, but that's okay. I got, what, 2 more slots to go? 3, technically, with the gun. Oh, another toxic plant. Let's get rid of him here. Get the 50 bytes of research out of you, or 39 apparently. Oh, don't fall down now. Let's see, anything else? Any more? There seems to be some down here. Right underneath me, of course. Quite a bit of resin. Not at all a bad find. Let's collect and connect our bridge here and move along. Yeah, it looks like I did just make a loop, but that's okay. Part of the reason for all the exploration. Get to see all these interesting things, and also the cave lights that show up. Ah, there's even more above me. More? Yes. Just need a little bit more to get my max resin. There we go. Max resin. Now, it isn't entirely worth it to connect the dots because it's kind of a use of excessive use of tethers. But what we will do is we'll collect another research to bring back up with us. There we are. Turn ourselves around, turn the fast walk on. Welcome to the stream, everyone. For those of you just joining us now, I wanted to let you know that originally, it seems that whenever Astroneer decides to have a large update, a significant update, my current save files are corrupted and lost. So the 2 save files that I had that were very close to being end game are no longer functional. So we are starting from scratch, and we are making it educational, giving out information so that people can understand the basics from the very beginning. So here I just have a basic base starting up. I will do a lot more base management once I have more of the essentials taken care of. I will say that the sandstorms in the original beta, although they made it interesting, they were a little bit of a hindrance. But what we're going to do here is we're going to create a large platform. Wind is pretty spotty on this planet. It's what's considered medium wind with medium solar. So not a bad place to get energy from either natural resource way, but also not always the best all around. I'm going to collect some of this compound here, and there's another resource above ground. One thing to note is if you are hunting resource objects, the resource objects that you find that are above ground tend to be worth less bytes than those that are below ground. The deeper you go, the richer the resource. So keep that in mind if you are rummaging around, if you're resource hunting, if you've already created a path deeper down, then definitely consider bringing the stuff up from below rather than just going on the surface. The same holds true as you get further along in planets. The research rewards that I get for a simple sample over here, I'll show you in just 1 second. So a simple ground sample here of organic, 20. On a separate planet, ground sample, as I get closer and closer to the center of the galaxy, would actually give me something more like 40 or 60 or 80 or even 200 at a time. So if I were to look at this research sample from underground, it's giving me 565 at the first tier underground. If I were to compare to the one that I found above ground, it's giving me 450. So as you can see, the underground ones reward more. They can take more time, but they do reward more. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to waltz on over here on the perimeter and create an area for our furnace. The furnace yet needs to be made though. Smelting furnace, please and thank you. You require another organic, which I do have here. I do not like using organic and generators that much. If I can avoid it, I will. However, it is a good source of power towards the beginning of the game when you don't have that much else to work off of. Let's see what other things we can create with the bytes that we have. A solar panel would definitely be good. That requires copper. A wind turbine would also be a good option. Packer is something that I definitely benefit from later in the game. One of my favorite, these are new platforms. Platform C, tall platform. Those are new. I will eventually need to make a solid fuel thruster. However, I am more so interested in the large platform B. This is one of my favorite platforms because you can have something in the center such as a research chamber or a furnace, but you can also have things along the sides for storage purposes. So I'm going to collect a little bit more organic here. To speed things along, I am going to use some generators. Sounds like we're in the eye of the storm outside, so I still got a little bit of time for this stream here. We're going to hurry on back. I'm going to build myself another small generator and use that as the initial source of power to speed things along here. There should be another output along this generator, along this shelter. Right there. Very good. So we're going to get some more power going. There we go. That allows for this to go much faster, and then we're also going to make a large platform B. Because the wind really right now is not doing too much for us. Now you'll see what I'm doing here with the mediums in just one moment. This is a tactic that I learned, that I greatly appreciate because I actually learned it from the gaming droid when we initially started playing the game. I'll show it to you here momentarily once these two things are built. Let's save. Saving occurs whenever you enter your shelter or a vehicle. It's something that I often forget to do, and so there have been a few situations where I've fallen behind because of it. It's like this platform's just about done. So what we're going to do for a platform that generates things, so what I mean by that is I'm going to bring this platform over here where this other one was located, rotate it in such a way that so that it is staying along the perimeter of my initial base. For something that generates things, such as this smelter, I like to have these storage units along the side. The reason for that is because you put it like this, they open up, and you instantly have 8 more slots. So by moving this guy here and putting it there, I have all those slots available. So if I start telling my smelter to smelt me some glass and some zinc, it will pile them directly onto the storage area without me having to do as much management. It saves quite a bit of time. Let me restock my generator to help speed things along, because all I have powering my place right now is this shelter and a small wind turbine, which unfortunately is not doing its job right now. So let us improve on that. Now I have a small solar available. That requires malachite. Malachite is something that's generally found along the hills and the mountainsides. So I have a few tether bundles to work with. I'm going to create a new tether bundle. So that will give me a handful here. And we'll go explore. There's a mountain range back behind me, and there's another mountain range in front of me. So what I'm going to do is head this way and look for malachite, while the furnace is doing its job and the researcher is doing its job. That is the importance of the multitasking. I can also collect various research from these plants, basically as we go. Now, malachite, if I continue to kind of circle around this mountain range, I should be able to find some. That is not malachite. That, I believe, is quartz. But not a bad thing to find. And this here is ammonium, another very good important thing when it comes to leaving planets, because it is required for a number of... Where's my tether? It is required for creating a solid fuel thruster, which is the initial fuel source for getting off planets with your starting shuttle. But what we are looking for is malachite. Ah! Another find. This is actually very good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect you here We're going to walk a little ways over here. Found another area of debris. Interesting how this tether doesn't want to sit still. I think it's because of the rocks. More compound will help me explore further along. This seems to be a broken satellite, which is great because they often have a number of resources. But I am interested in this over here as well as what I found nearby, which unless my eyes lie to me, it is a medium wind turbine, which will greatly increase our power to the base. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way over here. Yes, there is a medium wind turbine and another small wind turbine and malachite, all within our grasp. You'll notice that because the ground's a little bit more firm, because it's like a cave-like entrance, it takes more power, more work to get through the ground. You can build drills mods in order to improve it, but that drill mods do require more energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out this salvage here, and it may in fact be one, let's see, that has a port on it. It does not, but that's okay because it has two working fuel sources. Couldn't ask for more. It looks like I'll be able to get a malachite out of this. There's one. Should be some more along here. Malachite turns into copper when put in the furnace, and copper is a very good resource when it comes to solar energy. So you saw that I researched small solar panels. That's going to be very helpful for balancing, because you can't control wind, but the sun is relatively consistent on each planet. Wind is slightly inconsistent on each planet. I think that's going to be the extent of this particular cache. Ah, I was wrong. There's a little bit more up here. Let me connect my tethers so I have a good source of oxygen supply. I may be able to collect 3 copper. We will be very, very good. We'll be in good hands if that is the case. And if not, 2 is perfectly fine as well. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this debris with us, and I'm going to do what's called a juggle, which allows me to continue to keep my momentum as we move by basically pushing it along with me. It makes a lot of noise, but you're doing a back and forth clicking in order to ensure that you're able to get it fast. Because as you can see, walking like this is not efficient by any means. Sliding, however, is rather efficient. Now let's get you hooked up to a power source there. And if you look at that, it started doing everything on the pile to create. So I'm going to continue to enlarge my pile here. And I'm also going to place this as a power source to connect here. Rotate, please. Thank you. Connect power. And we'll get our wind turbine going. Now that makes a large difference. Now we are cooking with gas. What I can also do to help push power along, see now that we're getting 99 bits per minute versus original 15, that is great improvement on what we had initially. So what I will do in the meantime is also create some small solar with the copper I have just taken. Also look into what it costs energy wise for medium solar. Quite a few bits. It might be a while. Wind is easier to harness than the solar. So what we will do, unlock both. And see what else we can work towards unlocking. Shredder requires iron, which unfortunately is not available. And a solid fuel thruster. Now that we have a few things researched, I am going to work on expanding my base. Looks like the research that I had just finished, so let me pop this next one on place. Get that started, another 450 bytes please. We have some sources of energy going on. I am going to work on creating a larger area for my base. So that is where I play on keyboard and mouse. So what I like to do here is using the canister I collected, I can go on an equal plane and use the material to more or less make a flat area to work with. And expand out this way. Like so. That way when I decide to reorganize my base here, a bit more consistency to work with. So what we will do is unplug everything just for a minute, and we're going to move some things around. I'll have an area of salvage over here. I'll have an area of crafting over here next to the landing pad. It's going to be pointed inwards. I'm going to have an area of power over here. Now the crafting should be close over here because I'm just going to be close to my salvage, and the salvage is going to be an area where I have excessive storage. So it's good to have your materials there. And we're going to make this into a sort of ring. The other thing I'm going to do is collect some resin, which I believe there's a stockpile of resin back here. Make more platforms to connect more things. Yes, here we are. Excellent. Let's run back now before we lose our oxygen and end up passing out from hypoxia, suffocation. I'm going to use this power source here. To make a few sources of power. We're going to make some more large platforms. And a medium platform as well. Well, actually, no. Instead of that, I will get more resin, make another large platform. Here we are. Very good. So this will be a quick swap of what the research, well, the research actually can stay on that because it doesn't produce much more. But a soil centrifuge will soon go on this. I just require more research for that to be done. You'll see what I'm doing here shortly. It's more so just putting things together to be aligned appropriately at this point. That'll fit. That'll fit. Here we are. These will be the location for excessive power. And now I will start making some solar panels to match said power. And a wind turbine. This way, once my cycle is complete, I'll have an area surrounding the base. Solar. A reliable thing during the day. This will connect through here. And this will connect there. And now we are complete. So that you are being provided energy through what we have. I will create another small solar here and then you're good to go. No, that's a wind turbine, my mistake. We got plenty of wind turbines, that's for sure. So the name of the game is still trying to get research, trying to get energy, and just unlocking things. The next major thing we want to research is the soil centrifuge. These later game ones, the atmospheric condenser and the chemistry lab, are not quite as important, but a soil centrifuge needing aluminum and copper is very important. A compound, my mistake. Aluminum can be found. It's generally found deeper underground, so it's something that we will definitely need to go and explore for. So the next step for us is going to be doing exactly that. I'm going to create a small wind turbine to help power my own equipment here. Just like that. Another interesting point is that wind actually occurs underground in caves. So if you are digging away, even if you're on a even if you are on a desert planet, sun obviously does not shine through the desert. So solar is good above ground, but wind is preferred when you're underneath. So we are going to go back down, collect more research, and unlock ourselves the soil centrifuge. Also, gotta keep an eye out for anything that would give us aluminum. In this case is lithium, I believe. No, it's laterite. Laterite gives us aluminum. So we're gonna explore here just a little bit. I know I created a path already. There are more ways down. Many ways down, in fact. I'm keeping an eye out for some laterite. Because I have zinc. Zinc is not of a concern right now. Ah, that is exactly what I was looking for. That blue appearance is what we call laterite. It is what turns into aluminum when you put it in the furnace. So let us continue our tether line this direction. There we are. More zinc over there. I am more interested in the laterite, which is over here. Gotta make sure I escape past the cave. Here we are. An excellent source of aluminum. Aluminum has many roles. And we are going to collect as much as we can. That way we can build a soil centrifuge and a number of other things, actually. I do believe I see some research around the corner as well, so not a bad find at all. Always make sure to bring multiple things back with you. A backpack full and then some. This thing here requires what looks to be exactly what I'm farming up right now. So let's see if I can make it loose. Aha! 490, not a bad find at all. I believe there's another one down here. Just need to find its port. There you are. Another 430. We return back to the tether bundle and get more laterite, because seeing as we used 2 of them up. Grab that research and then head on back. I think I have one more space available. Now we can go back. We've researched quite a bit. As you can see, by providing sometimes as energy, sometimes a certain resource to those pods, you are able to get items that give you quite a bit of research as well. And this is only the starter planet. Everything goes up higher and higher in amount of rewards of research bytes, depending on what planet you are located on. So we will bring our research back. We will bring all of our laterite back with us. And get that in the furnace in order to make aluminum. 265 again. What are we at now? We are at 2,330. I can research the soil centrifuge. It only takes 750, so let's go ahead and do that. Landing pad is another thing that's good to have when I'm on a different planet. That way you can actually have a marker for where you are when you land. I also use beacons to my advantage because the beacons take a lot less than a landing pad. Currently not windy. Sun's just now coming up, which is great. So we'll be able to get a little bit more energy from the sun. And when the wind kicks up, we'll get a little bit more energy from that as well. Let's see, well, it takes zinc and it takes lithium to create a medium battery, but I believe I can create a small battery. That creates lithium as well, which is something I cannot do. Ah, small shuttle can be researched. Very good. Have you managed to make any aluminum for me? Yes. Let's grab 2 aluminum. Let's head over to our printer. See what it takes to get a soil centrifuge. Some compound. Lucky for us, there's plenty of compound over here. There we go, 3 compound. I believe I only needed 2. And there's a soil centrifuge. Now this will allow me to place my canister in it, which collects soil, thus allowing it to be spun down like a centrifuge in order to generate various resources. So it is a convenient way to collect resources in a situation where you may be on a different planet where you don't have that accessibility, or certain things are just not spawning. This will finish up here shortly. I might speed it along by getting a little bit more organic. And we are going to place you over here. Rotate. Very good. And I place a canister in the dispenser up here. A single canister gets me halfway full. I did forget that I had laterite present here. Single canister will get me halfway full, which allows me to get 4 compound, 4 resin, some organic, some clay, which is good in order to get ceramic, quartz, which is good for glass, graphite, which is good for many things, and then ammonium actually requires 2 full. What we'll do at this point is research the small shuttle. I will need to create a large printer. Requires multiple compound. However, there was another compound field over here. There we are. My goodness, they're just not spacing out correctly, are they? I do believe I see another wind turbine that could be used for my benefit. Let's collect some compound and look ahead towards this wind turbine. This also allows me to collect soil at the same time, so I should be able to generate some aluminum. Very good. Plenty of compound to work with. Let's go up this hill here. I believe I saw something interesting. Ah, an ice cave. Yes, so this is a working wind turbine. And a power cell. Both very good finds. Now, do you happen to have a port? No, you do not. That's okay. There's more copper, however. So what I'm going to do here shortly is I'm going to connect my tethers, because I still have a handful left. I'm going to collect this copper source. I'm going to take the wind turbine back. And I see in the distance that is an alien gateway. A means of accessing center of the universe. In order to access those, if you've ever taken a look at my previous streams, you need to power them on with appropriate amps, which is the unit of power in this game. Let's see if we can get another malachite. We have room for it, no need to head back unless we are full up. You are there, and then if I run over here real quick, I get more malachite. Are we full? Got one more slot. Very good. Let us take our prize back here. I believe I do see some quartz in the distance as well. So there. Ah, another power cell, another broken area. However, this might be one that actually has a slot to it. Let me see. It does not. Here we are. Let's take you back home with us. And we'll use the sliding mechanic to speed things along. And now I just gotta basically juggle this here. Nope, you gotta stay on. Alright, another wind turbine to add to the collection, and a power cell. Power cells are just a short supply of power, exactly what you would think. So what we're going to do is we're going to add on to our power location. There we go, another area for solar. This will go over here. My canister should be full, so we have a full collection here. Allows me to make one ammonium. And it would seem that my research is out, so I'll need another research. In the meantime, a large printer. And more malachite. Oops. Where's our research currently at? 740. Alright. Ah, I did have another malachite. Always need to double check. Now, in order to make shuttles or a shelter, you need a large printer. Our large printer is going to be located here and pointed outwards in the crafting area. I can create a shelter, a small shuttle which requires 2 aluminum, and those are the 2 that I can create as of now. So let me grab an aluminum. I have plenty of those for now. Create a small shuttle. And in the meantime, I also require another aluminum. In order to create a solid fuel thruster. This is the initial form of fuel to power a shuttle. A single solid fuel thruster normally gets you about 3 trips. We'll put that over there. I'll grab some research in the meantime. We'll be stuck. Ah, there we are. We will be needing a little bit more aluminum as well as research material. So let's keep an eye out. There's a whole plethora of quartz over there. I better not forget about that in the future. I'm filling up right now on laterite in order to get more aluminum. I've used up quite a bit. So I got 3 slots left, which is good. What else can I find around here? Ooh. I already opened that up. Alright. Zinc is a very good thing to have when you start making batteries in the future. Particularly a medium-sized battery. So I need to keep an eye out for research. Because currently, I do not have any research going on. Let's explore that way. Let us turn our... out of tether bundles. Quite a bit of resources in this little antechamber, but none that I am particularly looking for at this point. I know, I'm working on it. You can only explore so much before you start suffocating. Whole plethora of compound. Nothing else of interest. So what we will do is we'll actually backtrack towards the center of our initial area. And dig deeper. We need to find a research source. Now, although these are useful, these samples are useful, we need another research source. There we go. Close to the entrance, there should be a number of little divots or caves to go down, such as, well, this is not continuous. This one over here is a possibility. Here we are. This allows me to be on a second tier, and it even continues into a third tier. So let us first look around to see if there's anything. It's going to be similar resources, but as you go deeper and deeper, you're more likely to find something interesting. Rotate and pop. Bam. More laterite over there, a lot more compound, a lot more researchable material. It just keeps going and going. There's no way to fully, unless you spent many days on end exploring every little thing, you would not see everything that is in the planet. I'm going to collect this laterite, find some research, which is right there. So let us create a pathway. I have just a few more tether bundles remaining. So let us create a pathway here. And get our laterite collected. We'll return to base and I'll leave the stream there. And it's been an eventful stream. I hope it's been educational for everyone watching. I will probably be doing more of this in the future because I really do enjoy this game. It just irks me that when there's an update for some reason, and this has happened twice now, when there's an update, my saved files don't actually do exactly that. They do not transfer well. Alright, let me head back up. Little crevice. Should probably fix that before I continue back down. One thing to note is that when you research something, that research stays unlocked on your pad. Every time you go to a new planet, you're not restarting by any means, which is good. And anything that you currently have working on a separate planet will still continue to go even after you leave it. So oftentimes when I play in multiplayer with Bad Wolf and with Gaming Droid, we would actually be on separate planets doing separate things. And the research that he would generate would still occur. The things that I would unlock, he would also have access to it. And it's based on the server itself, not just the planet you're located on at that time. I will note that when you're playing on a server with multiple people and you're on separate planets, there is a little bit of a lag spike. But it is a game that is very creative, very fun. You can spend a lot of time just working on getting things done, just wanting to do one more term, like a Sid Meier's Civilization game. But this is a basic start to a base, and we've gone through the basics. We're going to be working on some more mid-game and advanced techniques here in the future. But to show you what I'm talking about, I don't know why you are suspended in the air. I have what it needs to enter a new planet. I would recommend, if you do decide to go to new planets, create a second oxygenator so that your shuttle will be able to supply oxygen just like a shelter would. Otherwise, you'll arrive at a planet and you'll be stuck. As in the worst case situation, when you arrive at a planet and your solid fuel thruster is gone and you have no way of getting back, your character has to unfortunately die and then reload. Not the best situation by any means. That being said, an oxygenator requires aluminum and ceramic. We can make one right here. I do have a ceramic right there. Now this is actually supplied with oxygen. So that is going to be the end of my stream here. I hope you've enjoyed it. We now have a shuttle that has a couple of flights in it available, oxygen in it. It's a good way to start at a new planet. This is the beginning of a good base, and I may continue this in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, for enjoying. I hope you are learning quite a bit, and if you're interested in the game, by all means, download it, play it. Let me know if you want someone to help you out. I've more or less done the full extent of it on previous saves. I just hope that this particular save will allow me to continue playing. And anyway, as always, take it easy.